You have just tuned in to the Mag Nerd Podcast, your home for everything in music, anime, and games.
What is up, guys? Showing the King here, back with another video, and today I'm bringing you another exciting breaking news from the world of gaming. Make sure you guys are following the Mad Nerd Podcast on Twitter and on Instagram at Mag Nerd Podcast and on Twitter at Mag Nerd Podcast 2 for all the latest and greatest on anything in music, anime, and gaming. Now, probably about 8 hours or so ago, PlayStation dropped a huge bombshell on all of us. They have released the PlayStation Classic. It's their version of Nintendo's popular NES Mini and SNES Mini. It's digital, basically miniaturized systems that come out with a lot of digital games on it. Let's just say that nostalgia is live and well. Retro games is back, and it is thriving in this current climate. It actually, as you guys can see here, I pulled out and we'll go over it in detail. But I went back into my catalog and pulled out all my PlayStation games that I've collected over the years, so that we can kind of talk about this properly. So let's get into the details of this reveal. So I've also left a link directly to the actual PlayStation reveal on their main YouTube page, so you can click on that in a link below, and then you can always just come back for my thoughts on it. But I just want to make sure you guys had access to it. So what do we know about this system? So the system is going to be $100. It's $99.99, and I believe it's 45% smaller than the original PlayStation. It comes bundled with 2 controllers, so it's not pulling a Nintendo and cheating you out by giving you just one. It's going to support HDMI in the back, so we're actually going to have higher resolution games than we ever did in the past, because when the original PlayStation came out, it was the RGB connected cord. It wasn't HDMI. The power button will still focus as the power button, and then the open button on the console itself will actually be the switch button. Now, they did announce that it's going to come with 20 games, and they only announced about 5 of them. The 5 games that they announced, let's see, one second. And I will say, so they announced 20 games, but they only are talking about 5 of them right now. I'm a little salty. I'm a little salty about that. I almost wish they would have just kind of told us what those 20 games were going to be right up front. But maybe I guess they're just trying to drive buzz. So the 20 games that they announced. They announced Final Fantasy VII, which I think is a great game to put on there for the RPG fans. And again, they're already making a Final Fantasy VII remake, so just being able to get our Final Fantasy VII in a digital form, HDMI, it's fantastic. Jumping Flash, that's a game that I used to play with my sister back in the day, so that's actually really cool. Ridge Racer 4. Ridge Racer Type 4. We're also going to get Tekken 3 as well as Wild Arms. So those are the games that they've announced, and they will be announcing the rest of those later. So kind of what I want to do in this video is just kind of speculate a little bit on what other games they should bring to the console, and we'll talk about it as well on the podcast this week. I'll get with Ghost, and we'll talk about what other games we would want to see on the actual PlayStation Classic. So we'll talk about that as well. But you can actually pre-order it. Now, I haven't figured out the best places to pre-order it yet, but it's definitely going to be one of those hot items for Christmas. I'm telling you guys right now, like, if you can pick up 1 or 2 of these, I would, because I can promise you that this will be the SNES Classic thing all over again. Like, literally, things are going to be sold out beyond control. I just hope that Sony doesn't pull a Nintendo and underestimate the anticipation for this, and they actually stock it properly so that people can go into stores and easily pick this thing up and not have a Nintendo situation where people are selling this thing online for 3-4 times the price that it's actually worth, because I can guarantee you that's what's going to end up happening. As I can see it happening right now. So again, December 3rd is the launch date. So here's the again, just so I don't get off track. December 3rd is the launch date. $99.99 is the price. 45% smaller than the original PlayStation. It comes with 2 controllers, 20 digital games, and I think for $100, that's not bad. I don't think it's bad, especially with the PlayStation graphics. PlayStation has a plethora of games that they can put out there, so that's why I'm actually very excited to see what 20 games are they going to put on this system. That's what's going to make or break this thing. It has to be good games, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to talk about what other games I would love to see from the PlayStation Classic. Also, like I said, the 2 controllers, the 45% smaller. The open button actually switches the games out. Let's see. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's the nitty gritty. So, what I have here is in light of the actual announcement of this, I went into the stash and I pulled out my PlayStation games. So. These aren't PlayStation 2 games, because, man, when they bring out that PlayStation 2 Classic, Lord have mercy, I'm going to be ready for that one. But these are all of my PlayStation games. I'm pretty sure I have more other places, but right now these are all my titles for my PlayStation. So I wanted to talk about what games I would love to see come on this thing. Here's a caveat, though. It'll be very interesting to see if PlayStation is only going to put first-party titles on there, or are they going to also have some of the third-party titles? Because if they put on the third-party titles, this thing is going to be a hit. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a hit, because the only issue that PlayStation, I think, had with PlayStation Now, where you could download and play digital games on your system, is the fact that people were missing that in front of the TV console experience. Like, they like the mini, they like the retro, being able to pull it out, plug it into their TV, and just kind of play with the family. They want to be able to have that physical thing, even if it's a digital game. They still want to be able to have that physical thing that they can just kind of like plug in and play. So I think it will be a lot more popular than the PlayStation Now experience, where people were just buying it straight up. So, one game that they need to have on here, and that is a must, is Jet Moto. I'm pretty sure they're going to have Jet Moto. That's almost a given. But again, like I said, this is Jet Moto 2. I picked this up from GameStop many years ago. This was one of my favorite racing games before racing games were cool. Like, I know you had your Gran Turismos, you know. Oh, that might be PlayStation 2. Because I was about to say, if they had SSX Tricky, oh man, but I think that was PlayStation 2. That was PlayStation 2, so let me not get ahead of myself. So, Jet Moto, this game is fantastic. I would love to see this on the PlayStation Classic. Make it happen. Mega Man X4. I'm just showing you guys right now the games that I currently have on my PlayStation. This was Street Fighter EX. I don't think that should be a game on there. That should be like a Capcom's Classic kind of thing. Bloody Roar. No, that's not. No. Oh, this is, and again, just so you guys know, this is also the back in the day when PlayStation used to bring out these underground jump pack demos. I still have mine. On this particular one, it's Ape Escape, Bloody Roar 2, The Next Tetris, Xena Warrior Princess, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater. That might actually be on there too. I was also a huge wrestling fan, so I have WCW Mayhem, Tenchu Stealth Assassins. I would love to see this come on PlayStation Classic. I actually thought that Ghost of Tsushima was actually a Tenchu reboot. If anybody has played Tenchu and you see that Ghost of Tsushima, that's a damn Tenchu. That's a Tenchu reboot, because the way he's moving and running up and down the walls, the way he's running with the sword and flipping, don't have it fool people. This is a Tenchu reboot. This is just Dragon Ball Ultimate Battle 22. Soul Blade. Please, Tech Namco, please put this on the Classic. Soul Blade, I would love that. This is just a Gundam Wing game, Gundam Battle Assault. You know, I love Gundam. Smackdown, original Jet Moto. Like I said, I love me some Jet Moto, so that needs to be on there. Tomb Raider. I would like to see Tomb Raider. Yeah, why not? I would love to see Tomb Raider or Tomb Raider, something from the Tomb Raider franchise on the PlayStation Classic as well. I definitely think with the release of, Shadow of Tomb Raider, which I actually did beat yesterday. So if you guys want on the podcast this Friday, this weekend, stay tuned for the podcast where I'll be giving my full review for Shadow of Tomb Raider as well as Spider-Man for PlayStation 4. So I beat both of those games in the last day or two, so I'll be giving you my full impressions on both of those games on the Magnet podcast. Follow us, listen to the podcast, it's fantastic. WCW Thunder, this was K1 Arena Fighters. Wow, God, I haven't played that one in a while. Gran Turismo is another game that revolutionized racing games. I was never really great at it, but it would be nice to have that on a PlayStation Classic. I was more of an arcade racer, but this game was actually very fun. Oh, Resident Evil 2. You guys have got to put Resident Evil 2 on this PlayStation Classic. Like, you have to have Resident Evil 2. 100%. Another Jump Pack, Volume 12. Let me see what's on here. Bravo Air Race, Colony Wars, Cool Borders 2, Fighting Force. Capcom, please put Fighting Force on there. That game was fantastic. NFL Game Day 98, Nightmare Creatures, Nuclear Strike, Parappa the Rapper. Parappa, yes. PlayStation Classic, you must have Parappa the Rapper. This also had Tomb Raider 2, and it had Versus. Also have WCW versus the World. Again, like I said, guys, I was a huge wrestling game fanatic back then. WCW versus the World. And, I didn't realize I had this in there either. This game is hard to find. This is Dragon Ball GT Final Bout for PlayStation. This is a very highly sought after game, and I do have it. Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. I don't know why it's in the WCW versus the World box, but whatever. And the last game that I have here is Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro. I think I own every Spider-Man game that's come out. I even own the Nintendo ones as well. So overall, I'm very excited about the Revelations. I think there's a huge catalog of PlayStation games that they can put onto this system. And at first I was a little upset that they didn't announce every game, but now that you think about it, just letting people speculate and kind of just talk about what games should be on there, maybe they're looking for our input because they have a huge catalog of games, so maybe they're just waiting to hear from us on what we would like to see on the system so they can put it on there. So it's not, I'm pretty sure they have relationships with all these developers, so they can probably just gather all the games that they want to see on here and just kind of put it out there. So I think you guys should definitely tweet at PlayStation and exactly what kind of games you guys want to see. I know I'm going to do that. But again, let's get the conversation started, guys. Like, what games do you want to see on the PlayStation Classic? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's get the conversation started. Like, again, I may actually start putting some of these games into my PlayStation and start playing it. I have the original PlayStation 3 that was backwards compatible, so I can actually play my PlayStation 2 and my PlayStation 1 games on it. So maybe I'll toss these in and see what actually happens. This is Showing Up the King. You guys have an awesome day, man. Dang. Good time to be a gamer.